Have you ever said something like, "I'm too old for that"? Or maybe it was, "Well, it doesn't really matter anymore." You probably didn't even think twice about it when you said it. Just a passing thought. A harmless little sentence. Right? But let me ask you something. What if that simple phrase, those few words you said without even blinking, are actually chipping away at your confidence? What if they're shrinking your world, little by little, without you even realizing it? You see, the words you speak, especially to yourself, aren't just words. They're messages. Messages your brain hears over and over again. And when you keep saying things like, "I can't do that," or "I shouldn't bother," or asterisk, "it's too late for me," you start to believe them. Now here's the thing nobody tells you. It's not your age that holds you back. It's the language you've picked up over the years. Words that sound harmless on the outside, but deep down, they're planting doubt, fear, even shame. And for older women, especially, you've spent a lifetime taking care of others. You've raised families, held jobs, pushed through tough times, without ever really pausing to think about how you speak to yourself. But now, those same quiet phrases, the ones you've said 1,000 times, could be the very thing making you feel stuck, unseen, unheard, unimportant. And I want to stop that cycle right here. Because the truth is, you are important. You do matter. And the way you talk about yourself should reflect that. In this video, we're going to talk about 12 everyday words and phrases you might be using without even thinking. Words that could be slowly stealing your confidence, your strength, your joy. Some of them will shock you. Some might make you laugh. And some will hit a little too close to home. But I promise, by the time we're done, you'll start to hear yourself differently. You'll begin to notice those little slips in language. And instead of repeating the same old phrases, you'll choose ones that lift you up, that remind you of who you really are, and who you're still becoming. So if you've ever felt like you're fading into the background, if you've ever wondered why you don't feel as powerful, or as joyful, or as you anymore, stick with me. Because the words you use, they matter more than you think. Comment, "I'm listening," if you're ready to reclaim your voice. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Healthy Senior Advice for more honest, empowering talk about what it really means to age with strength, grace, and dignity. Let's begin with one of the most common and most limiting phrases out there. 1. I'm too old for that. Picture this. A 72-year-old woman sees a flyer for a local dance class. Gentle movement, music from her youth, friendly faces. She pauses. She smiles. And then, just as quickly, she says to herself, "No, I'm too old for that." So she tosses the flyer in the trash. Another opportunity gone. Not because her body couldn't handle it, but because her mind told her it wasn't hers to enjoy anymore. And that's the real danger. Yes, aging brings physical changes. Mobility slows, joints stiffen. That's true. But the human brain, it loves movement. It craves novelty. And the body responds better than you think, especially when joy is involved. But the moment you say, "I'm too old," you shut the door before even checking if it's open. It's one of the most damaging lies we tell ourselves. And the worst part? We often believe it. Here's a better phrase. "I've never done that before, but I can try." Let your curiosity lead you. Let your courage meet it. And now, let's talk about something else. Something that hits closer to home for many women. 2. I look terrible. Have you ever avoided being in a photo? Your family is laughing, snapping pictures, and you quietly step out of the frame, muttering, "Ugh, I look awful today." You're not alone. I remember a woman named Carol. She was in her late 60s, full of warmth and humor. But anytime someone pulled out a camera, she'd hide. Not because others said she looked bad, but because she believed it herself. The problem? When you repeat those words, "I look terrible," your brain listens. And over time, it becomes your truth, even if it isn't true at all. Self-deprecating talk doesn't just affect your mood. It affects your mental health. It can increase stress, lower self-esteem, and even push you away from people who love you. Instead of looking for flaws, try this. Every morning, look in the mirror and say one kind thing about yourself. I'm grateful for this strong body. I'm proud of the woman I've become. You don't have to lie to yourself. You just have to start talking to yourself like someone you love. And speaking of love and connection. 3. It doesn't matter. A woman stops attending her weekly book club. She says, "It doesn't matter. I've already read the book. It's not a big deal." But deep down, she misses the laughter. She misses being around people who saw her as more than just someone's mother, sister, or caregiver. When you say, "It doesn't matter," what you often mean is, "I don't want to be a burden. I feel forgotten. I don't think anyone would notice if I wasn't there." It's not apathy, it's pain. Loneliness wrapped in quiet resignation. But here's the truth. You do matter. Your presence, your voice, your stories, they matter. So instead of pushing feelings away, try naming them. I'm feeling lonely today. I'd really like to connect with someone. That kind of honesty can lead you right back to community. Now, let's talk about another phrase that hides your light. 4. I'm just a grandma. I'm just a housewife. I'm just retired. Sound familiar? There's a woman I know, brilliant, full of stories, a walking encyclopedia of wisdom. But every time she's asked about her life, she shrinks back and says, "Oh, nothing special. I'm just a grandma." As if that role isn't powerful. As if that experience isn't valuable. The word, just, is a trap. It minimizes your worth. It reduces you to one piece of your identity, and throws away the rest. You are not just anything. Try saying this instead. I'm a grandmother, and so much more. I've lived through things most people couldn't even imagine. You've earned your space. You've earned your voice. And now, let's talk about what happens when we silence that voice. 5. Sorry to bother you, or I'll just stay quiet. Imagine this. An older woman walks into a doctor's office. She has questions, important ones, but before every sentence she says, "I'm sorry to bother you. I'll be quick, I promise." She's afraid of being a burden, afraid of taking up space. But here's the thing. You deserve answers. You deserve clarity. You deserve to be heard. When you apologize for speaking, you're teaching others to treat your concerns as optional. You're reinforcing a belief that your voice doesn't matter. It does. So next time, speak clearly. Ask boldly. And if you need to say something, don't say, "Sorry to bother you." Say, "I have a question, and I'd like a clear answer." You're not being difficult. You're being advocative for your health, your time, and your dignity. And now, let's tackle a phrase that often comes from a warm place, but does more harm than good. 6. Back in my day. It usually starts with a fond memory. Back in my day, we didn't need all these gadgets. Back in my day, kids respected their elders. And while those stories are real and beautiful, they can accidentally create a wall. Younger people hear them and think, "Here we go again." The moment you use "back in my day," you stop the flow of two-way conversation. It becomes a lecture, not a memory shared. But your stories, they deserve to be heard. So instead of comparing, try connecting. Say, "I remember when we had to write letters instead of texting. Have you ever tried that?" Or, "Things were different then." Want to hear a story? Invite them in. Open the door. And let the generations meet in the middle. The next phrase might sound innocent, but it often carries a deeper wound. 7. Should e.g., I should have done more. There's a woman I met once, maybe in her mid-70s. Widowed. Soft-spoken. She smiled, but it never reached her eyes. Over tea, she said something I'll never forget. I should have taken him to the hospital sooner. Maybe he'd still be here. Her husband had passed 5 years earlier. But that single word, should, still haunted her. You see, should keeps us frozen. It locks us in guilt. It tricks us into believing that rewriting the past will somehow fix the present. But life doesn't work like that. Should sounds like reflection, but more often, it's punishment disguised as wisdom. And here's the truth. You did what you could, with what you knew, with what you had, in the moment you were living. And that is enough. Try saying this instead. I did what I could, and I'm still learning. That's not weakness. That's growth. Let's release the past with love, not with regret. Because now, we move into another trap. One that seems gentle, but can quietly steal your peace. 8. At least I'm not, or compared to her. I may have arthritis, but at least I'm not bedridden like Nancy. Well, I'm lonely, but at least I'm not in a nursing home. You've heard this. You may have said this. It feels like perspective, right? But really, it's comparison. And comparison, even when it sounds positive, steals your joy. It takes your pain, and tries to dress it up by pointing at someone else's pain. It's a survival tactic. But it's not healing. You deserve to feel what you feel, without minimizing it by measuring it against someone else's suffering. Progress isn't about doing better than someone else. It's about showing up for yourself, in this season, on this day, in this body. Celebrate your own journey, without looking sideways. Because when you do that, you reclaim your story. And now, we turn to some of the most dangerous words. Not because they're dramatic, but because they're so casual, we don't even notice them. 9. I can't remember anything. You say it after forgetting a name, or walking into a room with no clue why. It sounds harmless. But when you say it again, and again, your brain believes you. And soon, others believe it too. Instead, try, I forget sometimes, but I'm still sharp. Because forgetting is normal. And you are more than a moment of confusion. Now, this one sounds like humility. 10. I'm just lucky I'm still here. But let's be honest. You're not just lucky. You've survived. You've fought. You've adapted. You've earned every year. Stop brushing off your strength as chance. Here's another one we say without blinking. 11. That's not for people my age. Gardening. Online dating. Taking a road trip. Volunteering. Starting a podcast. Writing a book. The moment you say, that's not for me anymore, you build a wall around your life, and call it reality. Don't do that. Replace it with, why not me? Because truly, why not you? And finally, the quiet killer of motivation. 12. What's the point? That one is heavy. It comes on the harder days. When your energy is low. When people forget to check in. When your body feels foreign. When the house feels empty. But I want you to hear this clearly. There is always a point. Because you are the point. Your life right now is still unfolding. You still have chapters to write. People to impact. Lessons to share. Love to give. These subtle phrases, they may seem small, but they carry weight. They shape how you see yourself. And over time, how others see you too. So start catching them. Gently. Lovingly. And then, choose something better. Words that affirm your value. That honor your years. That lift your spirit. Because language isn't just how we communicate. It's how we believe. And you, my friend, you deserve to believe in a version of yourself that's still growing, still vibrant, still powerful. Maybe, as you listened to those phrases, you felt a quiet sting. Maybe one of them sounded just like something you said this morning, when you looked in the mirror, or when someone offered help you didn't want to accept. And if that's the case, it's okay. Truly, it's okay. We all pick up these little patterns without even realizing it. Over the years, they sneak into our language. Through conversations, media, old beliefs, even family dynamics. They become second nature. But here's the beautiful thing. Just because a word feels familiar doesn't mean it belongs with you anymore. You see, words are more than sounds. They carry emotion. They carry identity. They quietly shape how you see yourself, how others treat you, and how you navigate each day. And now, you're aware. You've opened your eyes to something most people never notice. And that means you're powerful, because you have a choice. You don't have to keep repeating the phrases that limit you. You don't have to shrink your story just because the world says aging is about fading. It's not. Aging is not about disappearing. It's about becoming more. More wise. More bold. More you. So today, I want you to do something small, but powerful. Pick one phrase. Just one. Maybe it's, I'm too old for that. Maybe it's, I look terrible. Maybe it's the quiet whisper of, what's the point? And replace it. Replace it with something true. Something kind. Something strong. Hey, I've still got time. Or, I'm learning to love myself as I am. Or even, I matter. Because you do. You are not just surviving your later years. You're still becoming. You're still growing. You're still needed. And your voice still matters. The world needs your wisdom, your light, your laughter. Let's speak in a way that honors that. So let's take a moment to reflect. Today, we talked about 12 common phrases. Phrases like, I'm just a grandma. I should have done more. And, that's not for people my age. And if you noticed one or two, or maybe even all of them, in your vocabulary, don't feel ashamed. Feel empowered. Because every word you choose moving forward is a chance to reclaim your narrative. You are writing your story, starting right now, with new words that uplift, heal, and reflect who you truly are. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these phrases have you caught yourself saying? Or maybe you've heard someone else use them. Your sister, your friend, your mother? Let's open up a conversation in the comments. Because when we share, we grow. And when we grow, we rise, together. And if today's video sparked something in you, if it helped you see yourself just a little differently, go ahead and click that like button. And if you're new here, welcome. This is Healthy Senior Advice, and we're here every single week, offering insights, encouragement, and practical tools to help you live stronger, wiser, and more fully, at every age. So if that sounds like something you want more of, tap that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what we've got coming next. But for now, thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with me, for being open, for listening not just with your ears, but with your heart. Remember, your words matter. They hold weight. They shape your world. So choose ones that lift you up, that remind you who you are, and that help you become who you're still meant to be. Speak with love. Speak with pride. And I'll see you in the next video.